Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today is going to be the greatest day of your life. You know, we talk a lot about success and different topics here. I think one thing that's really important is what's holding us back as individuals. You know, I gotta be honest with you, I'm somebody who used to self-criticize. And I used to do it a lot, and I think it was holding me back. I think it pushed me to overwork myself time and again. I think it caused burnout, which impacts my mental health. And, you know, I just think that as I go back and review the behaviors and thoughts I used to have related to myself and the activities around me, I was wrong a lot. And I think I was just being too hard on myself. What were some of the things that I used to do? And that you may do these too, and you may be able to relate to these same things. You know, feeling that you're not productive enough. You know, we live in this fast-paced world, and yesterday we talked about ways to be more productive. But, you know, being overwhelmed from the pressure that we put on ourselves to be productive can really wear us down. And I think that we personally tend to be harshest on ourselves sometimes, and we need to acknowledge our own efforts and give ourselves more credit. You know, you do a lot, so take a break, pause. Think about all you're accomplishing. You know, if you're doing some of the things I recommended yesterday regarding being productive, you're planning, you're taking action, you're doing the right things. Give yourself credit for what you are accomplishing, because I'm sure it's a lot. We've been working on a lot of things over the last 2 months. I'm sure that things are changing for you rapidly and you're becoming a whole new person. But give yourself some credit for what it is you are accomplishing, and be sure to understand that, hey, we have a 24-hour day. Only a certain amount of things are possible, as we need 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night. We need time with our families, time with friends. We need other activities outside of just work. So make sure you're thinking about that balance, and don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing more than you think. I believe in you, and I know you believe in yourself. You can get things done. It's not a problem. Next, I think this is something that plagues myself. I'm growing up in an environment where it was never really good enough. I had a parent where it was never good enough for them. Didn't matter how much I accomplished or what I did, even if it was to the best of my abilities. I felt that there was always an unrealistic expectation and high standards, and that would always plague me with self-judgment. Then I would go back to the previous, where I was constantly self-reviewing myself. And you know, the truth is, striving for perfection can actually hinder our progress. Absolute perfection is a complete and total freaking myth. And it's a bunch of crap, okay? After chasing it, it's just going to lead to disappointment, because nobody's perfect. You know, it's nobody's perfect. Nobody's ever going to get it 100% correct 100% of the time. So don't be tough on yourself. Give yourself a break, okay? You're doing the best you can. You're going to get it done. It's going to be fantastic when you've completed whatever it is you're working on, because you know why? You did it, and you're amazing. You know, and be sure to celebrate your achievements and acknowledge your successes as you're working through things. And instead of obsessing over impossible goals and things that you feel are a flaw, aim for excellence, but be mindful that your inner critic is impacting your well-being, okay? You got to understand and realize that you may be a hypercritical individual, or you may be highly critical of your activities and your ability to accomplish things. So just acknowledge that. And then, you know what? Be kinder to yourself. Be nice to yourself. Every single thing you say, your supercomputer is listening to. And it doesn't matter if it's coming out verbally or if you're thinking it. It's impacting your programming. So tell yourself you're great. Try this for the next few days. Don't criticize yourself in any way. Just be kind to yourself. Tell yourself you're great. Tell yourself you're doing a good job. You know, sometimes I treat myself like I'm coaching somebody else, when in all actuality, I'm just coaching me. and tell yourself, hey, you're doing a great job. Or when you accomplish something, tell yourself verbally and think, hey, you did a really good job there. Fantastic. Or if maybe you were procrastinating on something and you jumped into it and got it done. Tell yourself you did a good job, because you're listening to yourself. And what you say to yourself matters. But you'll find over the next few days, if you're a little kinder to yourself, it's going to boost your confidence. It's going to enhance your quality of life. Because, honestly, perfectionism can lead to procrastination. So you want to make sure that you're not scaring yourself away from attempting to accomplish things and get things done. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. You're fantastic, and you're good enough. And what you do is good enough. Tell yourself you're great. Try it for the next couple of days. I'm telling you, it'll change your life, and it'll make everything wonderful for you. And as we work through that, I think that just kind of goes into my next topic, where I think people don't have enough confidence, and that's all self-induced. You're good enough, and you can do it. Confidence is a completely intangible quality. There's no ruler or scale that can gauge confidence. It's one of those things that it's not a mystical ability, and it's a skill that requires practice, just like any of the other skills that we've been working on together, right? How can you boost your confidence? Be kinder to yourself. Stop being so critical. Tell yourself you can do it. Allow yourself time to work through things. Schedule activities. Schedule your life. We talked about this yesterday when we talked about things that folks can do to be more productive. And when you have a moment of doubt, stop. Don't let those negative feelings or thoughts destroy the programming that's up here. Instead, immediately change the narrative. So if you're like, hey, I'm not good enough, or I can't do that, immediately stop that crap. Just done. And then what we do is we transition that over to positive. You just change the narrative immediately. I can't do that. Wait a minute. Nope. You tell yourself, yes, I can. You verbally and you mentally think it through, and you say, I can do that. I am good enough. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. You know what? Having confidence and bragging are two totally different things. It's not bragging if you can do it. Okay, and I know you can. So stop being so critical of yourself, but also give yourself a chance and, build up your self-confidence. And you might find that, hey, I'm negative thinking myself all the time. I think a lot of people do it. I used to do it all the time, and I still do it sometimes. You listen to the narrative that's going on up here. We're constantly talking to ourselves. You're constantly listening to yourself. What are you saying to yourself up here? What if you're saying negative things and a bunch of crap? Change the narrative and start saying positive things to yourself. When you do that, it can change everything. And it'll make you a better person. It'll make you have greater ability to accomplish things in your life. Okay? And you've got it. You're going to nail it. I know you are. Wait till you change this narrative and start being more positive and thinking about I can instead of I can't. Stop having I can't conversations. I don't have time to have a conversation with anybody who wants to talk with me, Douglas Vandergraph, about how things can't be done. I don't want to talk about how anything can't be done, but I tell you what, I'll sit down all day and have a conversation with you about how things can be done. And I tell you what, when you start talking about how you can and how things can be accomplished, and you take the it can't be done narrative off the table, you'd be really surprised. Your whole freaking world changes and everything gets better immediately. It's awesome. It'll change the entire narrative of your life. So change things up here. Change what you're saying to yourself, because remember, you're listening, okay? Another thing that I think is challenging at times, and I never used to be able to do this, is accepting compliments and praise. You see, accepting compliments doesn't make you conceited. What it does do is it shows confidence in your abilities. So when people praise you and you have a hard time accepting compliments, do one thing, at a minimum. At a minimum, say thank you. Nothing else. No other narratives needed. You don't need to somebody says, hey man, you did a really good job there. You don't need to go into a strong narrative about what it took to get there and all the problems that you faced and how you overcame this, that, and the other thing. Those are amazing feats, and that's great for your mental bank, okay? Just say thank you. It'll change everything. So moving forward, when somebody compliments you or says, hey, you did a really good job there, accept the recognition you deserve, shift your perspective, and see compliments as a positive affirmation. Okay, so when you embrace that gratitude and take pride in your achievements and just say thank you, you're not only acknowledging to them that, hey, you accept their compliment, you accept that you achieved something that was set forth for you and that, you feel really positive about it, but what you're also doing by a simple thank you is you're acknowledging to your supercomputer, you did a good job. That's the right programming, and that's the programming that I want to hang on to long term. Okay? So a simple thank you is all we need, and I tell you what, it changes everything. Don't let negative thoughts bring you down. We don't let the negative come into this supercomputer. We change the narrative, we think positive, and a simple thank you changes it all, okay, and keeps it all positive. I think that a lot of people feel also, on the next topic here, that, they may not be ambitious enough. I used to always think to myself, what is it going to take to get all these things that I want in my life? I need to own more businesses. I need to employ more people. We need to do this. We need more savings accounts. We need more credit here. You're just not ambitious enough. You need to go out and do more, Doug. Do more to get more. That's the way it works, right? Wrong. Then I got a little bit of success in my life, and I realized we all have different paths and different versions of success, right? So it's completely 100% okay to take things at your pace and discover the best approach for you. Okay? And if you have any fear of failure or whatever might come into your mind when you think you're not doing enough, you're going to have to overcome that, all right? But remember that we overcome that by realizing that success is unique to each individual, and it comes in finding what suits us best. And we just need to have faith in our capabilities and get rid of that unrealistic self-imposed expectation that we need to be at this point because I'm 50 years old and I'm not, I'm 47, but I look pretty good, huh? But we need to be sure that we're on our path to success. Warren Buffett made over 60% of his entire net wealth after the age of 60. So your individual path to success may be different. A lot of people are reaching out to me saying, I want to leave something for my children. I thought my life would be different. I thought that I would have done more up to this point in time in my life. And I tell them it's never too late. And I did a video post on that where we talked about a lot of successful people who have generated amazing net worth, have done amazing things from a philanthropic standpoint, and have helped humanity incredibly. And it happened later in life. If you want to be a millionaire, you don't have to start at the age of 20, all right? When I was in my 20s, I blew most of my money having fun. So then when I got a little bit older and a little bit more serious about money and about business, things changed for me. But that was my narrative, and that was my path. It's okay for you to have your own path. And just because you're at a certain point right now in your life, that's not indicative of where you're going to be in the end. That's not indicative of what's possible for you to achieve or what's coming for you or what events are going to transpire in the near or distant future for you. So just have faith. Follow your path. You'll get there. If you have a destination, remember we have our goal card. So you have a destination. You know where you're headed. It doesn't matter if you crawl towards that destination, if you walk, ride a bike, or in a car, or an airplane. As long as you know where you're going and you're headed in that direction, you'll get there. And how you get there is completely unique to you, your circumstance, abilities, so on and so forth. And that's what makes it so right. It's specific to you, and you can do it. So just avoid the unrealistic self-imposed crap. All right, and just realize that there's no set path. Savor the moment, savor the present, and you're going to relish the journey when you finally reach your destination. Okay? The next thing is, I think we feel the need to live up to society's standards. Keeping up with the Joneses will just make you poor, in my opinion. Where you're at or what you're comfortable with and what your expectations are about where you should be living, what your car needs to be, what your clothes need to be like. Those are all expectations that have been thrust upon us by society. Every day I come in here, I can buy any clothes I want. I can come in here and wear anything I want. I always have a really fancy tie shirt on every day because I wear what I want. And I wear this shirt. I went to the Four Seasons, best 5-star restaurant in Denver, Colorado. I show up in a tie t-shirt, some gym shorts, and some tennis shoes, It really doesn't matter. Just be yourself. The wealthiest guy in the room is never the guy in the Armani suit, okay? So just be yourself, be unique, live to your current standard, but don't sacrifice the ability to save and invest money, okay? Don't max your credit cards out to have really cool clothes and impress everybody. I'm telling you what, gold chains and fancy jewelry and all that, it's impressing you because you know how much it all costs. But for the majority of the people around you, they either don't notice or don't care. Okay, so don't feel like you need to live up to society's standards. I think that's something that really, really holds you back. Another thing I think that can hold you back, and I think we need to pause and take a deep breath here, is, I personally used to be a slave to time. Rushing around, trying to fit too much in every day, setting unrealistic deadlines, and that resulted in me being too hard on myself. Plus, I was too self-critical with my own expectations. So what I recommend is setting realistic time frames for things. Don't try to do too much in one day. And we can do that through time blocking and through scheduling. So schedule your life, time block things out, relish the present. And if you create a schedule for your day's events, you'll know what to expect. You'll know what you have the ability to accomplish. It's going to help you to avoid burnout. And it's going to also it's going to stop you from feeling the burden of the day, I always call it. Where, hey, it's 12 o'clock and I was supposed to accomplish all this and I didn't get it done. Feel comfortable to move things to the next day if possible. In your personal life. In business, you can handle that within the expectations and within the relationship you have with your supervisor or with the teams you're working with. But schedule things out. I think that's really important. So, another thing that I think is a complete and total killer is procrastination. Remember yesterday, my favorite way to overcome procrastination. If you have a task that needs to be accomplished, make a deal with yourself, the 5-minute deal. Tell yourself, hey, I'm going to start on this task, and I'm going to at least dedicate 5 minutes to begin working on it, and then set a time. So if it's 7 o'clock in the evening, you're on the couch watching TV, something was supposed to have been done, instead of pushing it off until tomorrow, say, hey, look, at 7:10, I'm going to get up off the couch and I'm going to work for 5 minutes towards accomplishing that task that I was just going to push off to the next day. You're probably going to find that when you get going, you're going to either complete the task or you're going to get to a point where you have a plan that's going to help you to more effectively accomplish what it is you were thinking of putting off. So avoid procrastination. We talked about that a long time ago. Here's the deal. I think the final thing that I want to talk about is I think a lot of people out there feel like they're not wealthy enough. And this kind of goes back to what we had previously talked about in keeping up with the Joneses. I want to tell you something. Steve Jobs, billionaire, multi-billionaire, on his deathbed said it wasn't worth it. All the meetings and all the effort, it just wasn't worth it. And several people who have been at the end of their life or the end of the game and spent their entire lives trying to reach some pot of gold at the top of a mountain have all indicated that they wished they spent more time with family, more time on personal goals, personal desires, hobbies, things like that. But it was never the money. It was never the money. And you know, my grandma used to always tell me that money can't buy happiness. And grandma was wrong. Money can buy happiness, but money was never meant to buy happiness. Money was meant to buy comfort. So it doesn't matter if you're happy or not. If you have more money, at least you're going to be unhappy and comfortable. And, money isn't everything, and your personal happiness doesn't truly depend on wealth anyway, so having that conversation is irrelevant. But I always think of that when people bring up money can't buy happiness. I'm like, well, money wasn't meant to buy happiness, and, don't let being hard on yourself for not having enough money weigh you down, okay? It can be tough, but remember, your value isn't defined by your bank account. Just keep pushing forward and working towards your goals, and we work on that every day. You've set goals, you've got your goal card, and your goal may be to get more money, and it may be to be a millionaire or a billionaire, or you may want to, own a financial institution or have incredible financial success. You can have that, and you can get to that goal. It's okay to want more financial security, but I don't want you to stress out about it, okay? Focus on what matters. Quality relationships and experiences. You really need to, I think, shed financial weight off your shoulders, because wealth is not a measure of your success or your self-worth, and having unlimited money isn't going to change many things in your life. So what I would recommend doing is realizing that wealth comes from within. Be gentle with yourself. Appreciate your current life and just live every day with gratitude. That's where you're going to find true wealth. And if you want to have additional financial security or wealth in your life, that's fine. Work on it. Work towards it like you work towards any other goal in your life, and it'll happen, and you'll have it, okay? But also recognize all the wonderful beauty you have around you. And you have amazing wealth in your life related to the relationships you have, family, friends, all of that. I think it's, just remember that your journey is unique. It's very essential to balance your personal ambition and self-care with a little bit of kindness and understanding, And it's also essential to appreciate your present moment. Appreciate where you are right now. Because you know what? I bet you have more than you think you have. Be sure to take breaks. Switch up your routines. Remember, if you want to change your life, you got to change your life. You can't keep doing the same things over and over again, expecting to get different results, right? And embrace your uniqueness. Your journey's unique. Your path's unique. The best thing about accomplishing a goal is looking back at the journey. Every time I do, I wish I would have appreciated it more. I wish I would have stopped and taken time to look around at certain points in the journey, because it's great to have the goal. It's great to have the money. It's great to have the business success. It's great to have the relationships and friends, and it's great to do all the fantastic things you always wanted to do. But doing those things is less satisfying, I believe, than actually relishing the journey to get there. And at the end of the day, here's the reminder. It's not a six-figure number. It's a list of accomplishments we can brag about, right? So be good to yourself, care for yourself, and don't worry so much about the money, okay? It'll come because you're working towards success. And although money isn't an indicator of success, with success usually comes money, okay? So don't you worry about it. You just keep bettering yourself, keep improving your position, keep working towards your personal goals, and I think without even trying, you're going to find that increased financial success just comes into your life. It's amazing. It really works that way for everybody every single time. Be good to yourself, friends. Be kind to yourselves. Tell yourself good things today, okay? I believe in you. I know you can do it. I care about you, and I want this to be the greatest day of your life. I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?